Welcome to session 2 of Lost Tower of Xirus, a 2d20 Conan actual play featuring the Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop from Nerd Eye Industries. Just a bit of a disclaimer that the players and some of the players are new to Fantasy Grounds and new to Conan, so there are things that there might be some flubs here, and there also will be some teaching of the tabletop itself and the game. So just bear with us on some of that stuff. Now let's go ahead and get reacquainted with the players and their characters, and we'll start with Varg.
Muted.
Varg does not know technology. Hi, my name is Bianca Zelda, and I'm going to be playing Varg, the barbarian from a very windy place. I spend my time following wolves and following friends, because this seems like a good idea for Varg.
Okay. Next we have Adama.
I'm not muted this time. My name is Leslie, and I'm playing Adama Lekios, a Corinthian noble warrior who is on an adventure to regain honor in the eyes of her family.
Okay. And then we have Cornelia.
Hi, my name is Morgan Conroy, and I'm playing Cornelia, who is just the best little bean, and she knows approximately nothing, but she knows a lot about some stuff, but not a lot about real world stuff. But she's on an adventure because she needs to find what her parents died to find. And that is her whole purpose right now, is to finish her parents' legacy.
And lastly, we have Kett.
Hello, everybody. Michael playing Old Man Kett, a veteran warrior, and the foundation, the limestone to this group of young warriors.
Yeah.
And scholars.
2 warriors, 1 scholar.
All right, so last time, the 3 mercenaries, Adama, Kett, and Varg, were tasked with the protection detail. They were to guard Cornelia, the granddaughter of a prominent Corajan noble. Cornelia was supposed to travel to Argos to visit her uncle, but in truth, she was leaving to investigate the slaughter of her parents, who were killed searching for a mysterious treasure. Shortly after her parents' death, a stranger came and gave her an odd coin of ancient design, which he said it was her father's dying wish that it be returned to her. Kett is the sole survivor of the mercenary company that was defending Cornelia's parents, or so he thought, until a rumor of another survivor named Cenobus, a scout from the unit, the rumor has just reached Coraja that perhaps there was another survivor. And then Varg and Adama have sworn to protect Cornelia. Adama has her reasons, and Varg, upon seeing a wolf symbol on the ancient coin that Cornelia has, agreed to accompany, as it was fulfilling some sort of a providence. Besides the coin, the only other clue to the fate of Cornelia's parents was a cryptic note in the margins of one of her father's journals, which read, Kalchasma, Orchid. All right. So we are starting at Kalchasma. Kalchasma, like I said before, it's kind of like a roadhouse outside, just south of the town of, or the city of Coraja, and it's got a very rough and tumble reputation amongst the travelers. You guys had actually encountered, I think it was Adama, I believe, that confronted one of the town guard and found out about Kalchasma. Oh, before I get any further, the players and myself will be monitoring chat, and if you want to give the players momentum, you can, but it will cost you 2 bits. So beyond that, just interaction with the cast as we're playing is perfectly fine. They will be monitoring chat as well.
Our momentum is the same cost as a shave and a haircut.
There you go, 2 bits. That's right. So, Kyle Shazma it's a few miles. I think it said it was like 5 miles out of town. So it's well enough removed that kind of like the what happens in Kyle Shazma stays in Kyle Shazma, and whenever caravans and whatnot would come to Karaja, a lot of times instead of like bringing all of their like the entire camel train or anything like that through the city itself, they would just stop at Kal Shazma to, that because there's a small oasis there also. And so they would, their horses, and they would but they would corral their horses and their camels and things like that. And then most of your caravan workers would stay there when the nobles and whatnot, or the bosses would actually go into the city. So that's why it has kind of a rough reputation. So as you're approaching Kal Shazma, what we'll do is we're going to switch to the Fantasy Grounds page, and I am going to show all the players and what the inner
Ooh, maps.
maps.
This information cost me 2 apples.
So there you go. There's the outer the inner court of Kal Shazma.
Very cool.
And let's see here.
Mine is slow to load.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Let's see what it does.
Oh, yeah. Weirdly, my Fantasy Grounds is not showing that, but I can see it on Twitch, so.
Yeah, I was looking on Twitch actually because
Oh.
mine's not showing it.
Yeah, it's not on mine either.
Okay.
Your
what
Fantasy
is it?
Grounds isn't showing up at all, or the map isn't showing
The
up?
map
map.
is not showing
Map.
up.
Should I
Should we
be
be on
pulling
a-
up a
oh.
G?
Oh, hey.
Just kidding.
There you go. Sorry. It helps when I push the right buttons.
Quite a fancy map.
I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
So you mentioned in the opening that Cenobus was potentially another survivor of my parents' group.
Yes, that's something that Kett knew. Yeah.
Okay,
'Cause,
but not Cornelia.
Not Cornelia, correct. Amalric pulled Kett aside before you all left, or they left to come visit you in your grandmother's house, and pulled him aside and said, Cenobus, is not to be trusted.
Okay.
Kett has not yet revealed that to the group yet.
Right, so a
I
little bit of
thought-
meta knowledge.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that Cenobus and my father had not been speaking for quite some time.
That is also correct.
Ah, so much I'm finding out, but not as Cornelia, and I can't do anything with it. Metagaming.
Right. So,
Arg.
so this is the inner courtyard, and I just activate it so that way the stream can actually see where my pointer is going. So the area right here, I don't know if you guys can see my pointer or not on
No,
the
I'll
regular.
look on the stream.
Okay,
It's showing up.
okay. The entrance is set inside. So the main entrance to Kal Shazma, the actual inn itself, is in this little nook. So then there's a few vendors and things like that operate on the outside, selling just basic travel things like food and whatnot for the caravan workers and for their travels and whatnot. So so beyond that, it's as you're approaching, you can you were all given horses if you didn't already have them, and so you can leave them outside of the walls, because it's actually like a walled inn.
Can I have had a donkey?
Absolutely.
Cool, thank you.
So
As we would have approached Kal Shazma, I think Kett likely would have tried to disguise Cornelia in some way.
Okay.
She stands out from the group
Okay.
in her her gear and kind of her just nature, and he would probably try to give her some kind of coverings or make her a little bit more like the rest of the mercenary group.
Okay. Interestingly enough, something like disguising and whatnot is actually covered under under thievery, under your awareness. So right now you have 0 momentum in your pool. I have 12 doom to cover each to the total of the group's fortune points. So if you're wanting to disguise her, now here's the thing: if somebody else has a better thievery, they can do they can take primary, and then whoever wants to assist can assist with that skill also. So it's really up to you, Kett, how you want to do it, because you're the one that brought it up.
Well, Kett is not great at disguises. That's really not a forte of his per se.
Right.
Like he was going to jump off his horse, basically grab some road dirt and like rub it all over her clothes. And throw like a sheet over her. Like,
Sure.
Oh, the indignity of this.
So Kett would likely have stopped and said, we've got to do something. She stands out.
Oh. Varg looks at Cornelia. Varg thinks Cornelia just perhaps needs to roll in some dirt. Not throw dirt on face. Kett, that's not how you disguise.
No, you're right. I mean, however you want to dirty yourself, feel free.
Must be
but
voluntary.
You're far
Varg
too
insists.
shiny
Okay.
for this place.
Varg can assist
You'll
with
be a target.
disguise. Varg has
So-
extra momentum due to bits and chat.
Oh, already? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awful nice.
Okay. So with Varg's help, I guess I will rough and tumble myself.
Okay, so you're going to disguise yourself.
Well,
Who's going to be the
or
primary? That's what I'm asking.
What
Varg
kind
has
of
momentum.
roles are you looking for from this? We can see who.
I have an 8 in thievery.
Kett's target number is an 8.
What happens if I lost my character sheet? Where do I bring it up again?
If you
Click on your name.
Yep, just double click your name.
Your character portrait there. Yep.
I have the map in the way. Oh, the map moves.
Yes, it does.
The map
The other thing that you can do, and this is for universal throughout Fantasy Grounds, is if the map is in your way, you can right click it, and then you'll see a thing that says minimize. You left click the minimize, and it'll turn it into an icon, and you can
that's so
drag
cute.
that icon anywhere you want, and then anytime you double click that, then it'll pop right back up.
Brilliant. Can I do the same for my character sheet? Not that I need to,
Yes,
but I
you
can,
can.
and then it makes a little face.
Yep.
That's cute.
Yep. And then the bottom bars there that are numbered 1 through 12, you could also
Can I assign
drag.
stuff? No way. Oh, it didn't work.
What are you trying to do?
Oh, I thought I could assign like my map there or something.
You can if
Tell me how?
let me look and see. If you scroll, you move the map to where you can see the little. You should be able to see a little shield at the top left.
Got it.
You drag and drop it right into whatever slot you want it to be.
Oh, fabulous! This is very intuitive. I mean, once you kind of got like the know-how of it, it's very nice.
Yep. And then anytime you can just press the button, just click wherever you stash that on your top 12.
I don't even have to minimize it that way.
Yeah, and it's always there.
Okay.
And then also you got 1 through 12, and if you hit the control button, you got 12 more.
No way.
Hit Alt, you got 12 more,
Sweet.
and you hit Shift, you got 12 more.
Neat.
So yeah, you can stash all your stuff. If you have like weapons you frequently use, you can put those down. Anything that has a shield, you can drop down there so that way for quick reference. Like for instance, if you're looking at the stream, you can see I have GM screen 1 through 4 on my quick buttons, hit locations, and then some of the locations and maybe some NPCs ready loaded down there. So okay. So all right, back to
gosh.
it.
Heck yeah.
So
So-
who is doing the disguising? The
What was I looking at? My thievery?
thievery.
I got a 10.
Oh, nice.
Okay, then I will let Varg do it.
Okay, and then who is assisting?
I think that would be
Everybody?
Cornelia.
Can I assist myself?
You may. So what you're going to do is, and we'll call up Cornelia's character here for the for the audience. Okay, so Cornelia, you have a thievery of 8, right?
Yes.
When you're assisting, on the bottom left, you have those 2 yellow dots followed by 3 unfilled in dots.
Yes.
Because you're assisting, you're only going to use one of those 2. So
One
unclick.
dice instead of 2.
Correct. So
Yeah.
unclick one of those. So you're only going to be rolling 1 dice, and then double click your thievery 8, and it'll roll it. There you go.
Oh no,
It was a 2.
it was a 2.
Yeah, you went low. You went lower than your score.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
This game is opposite world. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. So you have
I was like, oh no, too.
right. So what happens is, Cornelia, you're assisting Varg with the disguise. You succeed. So now, Varg, if you succeed, however many successes you get to add Cornelia's success. So if the primary succeeds, then all assists count.
Yes. Okay. Can I use a momentum?
Yes, you may. So you have how many momentum was earned in the chat?
Zhang Pao gave 4 bits, and I can't remember. I think you had set it at
2 bits for 1 momentum.
Right.
Yeah.
So so there's 2 momentum. I overclicked. So there's 2 momentum in the pool. So you can use both of them if you want to. If you want 5 dice in your hand, then you would have to give me a doom.
I just want to use 1.
Okay, sure. So drag and drop the momentum. Make sure you switch your number of dice in your hand from 2 to 3.
Perfect.
And
Difficulty
then
of
so this difficulty is just 1. So it'll
Okay.
whatever the it's just the base difficulty.
it's a double click.
Correct. All right.
Yeah.
So it looks like you got 2 successes, and so you generated that momentum back. So go ahead and double click the momentum stack there to make it a 2. There you go. And so yes, you're fairly certain that you did a good enough job that they're not going to notice if they know who Cornelia is, like someone she would already know. They probably would see through it, but just the way that you have her dressed now, she doesn't look like she's a student on a field trip.
When Varg came to the Warmlands, Varg got to learn that too much fur it's a giveaway that you are not from Warmlands. Varg also learned that holes in your shirt, very helpful.
Oh.
Everybody will interact with you if you have a hole in your shirt.
Wow,
Varg
that's-
has no idea why, but Varg recognizes it as a good tool to use.
That is such good information. Thank you so much, Varg.
Welcome. Many welcome.
Adama is just like looking at Kett like,
Kett shrugs.
Like,
Holes
It works.
in
Oh,
my
my-
shirts are passports.
holes. Never mind. I will not ask. All right,
I
so
just picture Varg like finger poking some holes in your shirt.
Oh yeah.
there you go.
here,
Holiday.
Cornelia, a bit of wine on your breath. It'll make it more believable.
Oh, okay.
Varg agrees.
Just, like,
Small
takes-
sip. Small.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Takes the tiniest of sips. Coughs a little.
Easy. Take it easy.
All right. So as you're doing this, and we'll say that you're doing it before you enter into the courtyard of the inn itself. You can see it's starting to be, it's going on evening time, because you guys left at it was evening when you left, or was it? Can't
I
remember.
thought it was like mid-morning.
Yeah, you're right. So it took a couple hours to get here. So yeah, it's like lunchtime. So you see a few people like going in and out of the courtyard, or headed into the courtyard like for lunch and whatnot. But nobody's paying any attention to you messing up, Cornelia's outfit and rubbing, dirt and stuff in her hair.
Leaves, twigs.
Right.
Does
All right.
it seem kind of quiet, like sort of a midday lull because it's hot, or is there a lot going on?
No, it actually is. It is a very much a midday lull. The cavern, I keep saying cavern. The caravan workers have, they've done their morning, like checking on the animals, checking on their gear and things like that. They're moving into the inn itself for midday, or, like midday meal and like, siesta time, because it's going to get really hot. And then a lot of them are going to like be guarding the corral and stuff like that at night. So they're going to get some shut eye. So yeah, it's not super busy, but it's not as busy as it probably was this morning.
Okay. So we are looking for an inn, correct? And there was a name.
Was there?
So
Varg uses memory.
we are looking for a man named Sidonis. He's very loud. He's Stygian, and I don't quite remember any other physical descriptors of him, but I would know him when I see him.
So we don't know what this person looks like.
Just that he's Stygian, and would I know other things? It's been a long time since Cornelia's seen him.
You were very young the last
Gotcha.
time you saw him. So yeah, it was, it's like the case of maybe a 7-year-old recalling something from many years ago, when you were 7 years old. So yeah.
Mostly remember the horse that he gave me, and not so much his face.
Okay.
Well, let's find a place to put our horses, and then we can go inside and see what we can find out.
Gotcha.
Is there a stable or somewhere
Yes.
that we can?
Yeah. Well, you can actually stable them if you want to, like have like a stable hand, like, brush them and all of that if you're planning on staying, or you could just tie them to the hitching post, which is outside the courtyard if you're just staying for a short period of time.
I don't think we should be here that long, right?
I guess we shall see. All right. If we can always come back and take care of the horses.
Varg's mule will need some food, but Varg is happy to just leave Mule tied up. Goodbye, Pickles.
I'll take the horses and the mule.
Pickles.
Pickles. I will take Pickles and our horses to the stable for now.
Okay. All right. And so the rest of you are doing what?
Stepping inside the inn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I will move this and we go into the tavern. Okay. So the tavern
Love it.
So fancy.
the tavern is kind of hopping. All right. So
Yeah, it is.
it is as you come in, and I'm actually going to drag your characters onto here. So who's coming in first?
Varg wants those biscuits.
Varg is coming in first.
Also,
Varg's-
excuse me,
Varg's
Nathan,
coming in hot.
buffet pack of animals. All of our animals have been lovingly named after food for no buffet reason at all. Also, for Eric, I added in notes. I realized I could make public notes, so I've been keeping a list of all the NPC lists.
Oh, good.
only the animal NPCs because
Oh.
they're what matters. To
I
me.
see. Yes.
Just for the records, plum in Greek is damaskino. She actually said damaskino.
There you go.
That's the horse's name.
Okay, well.
Kett
Varg
calls them
will
all horse and calls the mule donkey.
Horse one, horse two.
Right.
Yep.
All horse, little horse. All right, so we walk inside and we see all of this. I guess Adama would probably try and keep an eye on Cornelia, so she'll follow Cornelia in.
Okay.
I'm like in a little protective sandwich.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So Adama, all right, so Varg's going in first, then Adama, then Cornelia, then Adama.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So and then Kett will be coming in after he's dealt with the animals.
Shortly thereafter, yes.
Right. Okay. So there we go. So everybody can get a good view who's watching the stream. So as you're walking in, the inn itself, the tap room of the inn, you walk in and you see it is loaded with hard-eyed rascals who are mingling with caravan masters, suave reprobates, and penniless nobles living on credit. All are attracting the attention of brightly painted paramours and scantily clad manlets as a trio of plumed musicians play bawdy tunes atop a makeshift stage.
I have a new goal, and that is for someone to call me a manlet at some point in the rest of my adult life, and not like ironically or not sarcastically, but to actually refer to me as a manlet.
Genuinely, it's funny because as soon as
Genuinely.
I heard that, I'm like,
Yep.
Varg has to talk to a manlet.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to talk to a manlet?
Cornelia's eyes are like dinner plate size, just like, there's so much going on in here.
I think Varg would take a step and to like slap you on the back.
Ow.
Varg welcomes you. This place is Varg remembers the word bumpin', yes.
Bumping. Is that is bumpin' a is that like an Asgardian term?
No. Bumping is term Varg has encountered on his travels.
Okay.
Bumping can be either physical or emotional. When there are a lot of people, Varg refers to them as bumping, but they can also bump into each other.
Physical
Varg has
and
learned this term has
emotional.
dual meaning.
Okay. Origin unknown. Good to know.
All right. So, shall we move to the bar? Perhaps we can ask someone there. One of the bartenders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you should be able to move your characters on the map. Double check and make sure.
Yeah.
Is it allowing you?
Boop.
Yep.
Boop.
Oh, yep. There you go. All right. So as you're mingling through and headed towards the bar, people and
Cornelia is on the bar.
yeah.
Coyote Ugly. It's Coyote Ugly now.
No, you're right. You're right up to it. So as you're looking at this, because this is a top-down view, you actually have stairs on your right. So Adama, as Varg, you look like you're headed like towards the kitchen area, and there's stairs going up, and then there's like a little stage above you, and then the three people you see up there are the three musicians, and they're wearing big plumed hats, and they're two of them are playing stringed instruments, and one of them's like using sticks on what appears to be some sort of a skin stretched over a drum. So they're and it's just a really really just high tempo, high energy song, and like it's like one of those where periodically someone either one of the three or someone in the crowd just kind of goes yeah la 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 la, that kind of thing. So they're really just going for it. And the people are singing and just kind of dancing in their chairs or dance. The serving people are like dancing as they're like meandering through the people, and they've got like hot rolls that they're carrying in these tins as they're coming through.
Okay. As I go through all of this like cacophony and like looking around frantically, just because like, oh my god, there's so much stuff to look at. My Jada would be freaking mad if she knew I was here. But is there anybody that I know or at least recognize or jogs a memory?
No, not. I mean, unless here's the thing. Right off the bat, no, you don't recognize anybody. But at any point in this game, and as we play, if you want to spend a fortune point, you may to affect the story. And so, I mean, not that I'm suggesting that you do so now, but if you're just like, you know what, I think there's somebody I recognize that's sitting over there, and you want to affect the story that way, that's perfectly fine. Not that it's absolutely necessary at this point, but it's up to you. So, asking me straight up, is there anyone? No.
Okay. Cornelia is very overwhelmed by everything anyway, so I can't imagine she would be like eagle eyes in control. She's mostly like, oh.
Is there a bartender?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's this rather like top heavy woman with her hair pulled back in like an apron, like a headscarf, like a severe headscarf. It's not like it's not like a loose one. It's like it's super tight on her head to the point where it's like pulling her eyebrows up. And she has like the forearms, she has like Popeye forearms. And she's just like grabbing as the gentleman behind her, who's like half her size, is filling these steins with whatever ale, this like dark ale. She's reaching back and grabbing like 4 and 5 of these steins, and she's setting them on the bar as the helpers are going around and just like picking them up on trays. And they're holding like, they have like 6 or 7 of these steins on these silver looking trays. They're battered, but they're silver looking, and they're holding them over their head with one hand as they're like going through the crowd.
Cornelia loves her.
So yeah, she turns and she looks at the two of you at the bar, and she points and she says, 2 darks. And that's to looking right at Cornelia and Adama.
That. Yes,
Sure.
please. 2 of your special. And she takes a couple coin and slides it across the bar.
Okay. All right. Yeah. As she's getting ready to put 2 of them on one of the trays, she just kind of sets it to the side, scoops the coins, and then kind of tucks them into her bodice, and then turns around, and then she says, meat muffins?
No, thank you.
1 for me. And for a moment of your time, she'll put an extra coin on the table. I have just a question for you.
Yeah. And she like grabs her apron, she like pulls it up and is like wiping her hands. And she like leans in close so she can hear, because of course the music's like right above you.
We're looking for a family friend by the name of Stanobus.
Shakes her
Seen
head.
them.
Snobus. And she like she scratches her neck, and then she says, I'll have to check the book.
I heard he's a fan of orchids.
All right. The manlet that's standing next to you that was holding the tray, actually like starts to drop the tray. Like he slipped or something, and then he like rights
Are
himself.
you okay?
And he looks at you and he says, I'm quite fine, miss. I'm quite fine. Thank you. And then
Okay.
kind of scurries away.
Should
And,
watch your step.
and she's looking at the 2 of
Suspicious
you.
about that response. Like, is there any sort of insight that
It was you don't, well, actually in this game, even if something is obvious, you can still roll for it, and the reason being is it generates momentum. So what we'll do is, let's go ahead and open up Adama's character sheet. There we go. So you are it's an observation check is what you're doing. Or no, I'm sorry, insight. It's insight. So you can roll insight, and you just make sure that you click your target number is DC 0.
DC 0? All right. And then I'll just... Is it double click the dice?
Correct.
Or drag and drop? Double tap? Okay.
There you go. Oh, nope. You rolled an 18 and a 19. So,
Man, in any other game.
Right.
right. So, like I said, target number was 0. So that means
Yeah.
I can already tell you, yes, that was weird. But how weird, or how much you can infer into it, it's unclear. But yeah,
It's a wild party. It's hard to tell what anyone's
right.
doing
But it was
here. Okay.
it was definitely odd.
And unfortunately, Cornelia is not going to help you because she's just like, oh, I hope he's okay.
There.
All right. So as she leans forward, the burly woman leans forward and she says, "Orchid, are you sure?" And she kind of squints her eyes, like looking at you, not as if, "Are you sure you know what you're talking about?" but "Are you sure you know what you're talking about?"
The look in Cornelia's eyes is so torn because she knows, because that's what was in the book, but she also doesn't know. And now this lady's very intimidating. That's what I've been told by people.
Okay. She kind of tilts her head sideways like, okay. And she just kind of points to her right. So as you're looking at the map, she points to the left of the map to a staircase that is leading, that's actually leading down through an open doorway. And she just kind of points in that direction and is like, okay. All right. So as this is happening, Varg, you are mingling around around the crowd and whatnot, as it looks like Kett has just entered into the room. And what catches your eye is in the bottom right corner is a couple of gentlemen. And one of them is kind of looking at you as if, not necessarily like sizing you up, but almost like in a little bit of confusion, because as you may recall, Asgardians are an oddity here. So, they a lot of people around here have never seen one. So, and not that, I mean, you're still a person, but it's just, your white
Varg
hair.
knows.
Yeah. And
Varg
just
has,
like
yes,
the
white
set of
hair,
your eyes and
pale
things like that.
eyebrows.
Yeah. And it's,
Pale skin.
and the rumor, or at least the legend, is that Asgardians are and the Vanir are descended from giants. So so just looking at your stature and your hair color and things like that, people are looking at you as if you're an oddity, not like you, but more like a curiosity, like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen anyone like that before.
Varg is used to these. He winks at anybody who has lingering eye contact.
Yeah, and a few of the escorts that are around are like very interested in Varg at this point. So let's see here.
Varg would like to interact with I think whoever was kind of walking around with some hot rolls you had mentioned.
Yes.
He did the biscuits.
Yeah, so one of the servants or the serving people kind of she kind of steps to you and like offers you some that are on this they're like a big muffin tin, and just kind of holds them out. She's wearing hot pads, on her hands. She holds them out. She says, "Be very careful. They're super hot." And then she kind of looks you up and down like,
Varg doesn't get the look. He's just assuming that it's hot red. Yes. Varg would love some rolls. Varg also has questions about people that you might have seen. Could Varg exchange rolls and information for perhaps one question about Varg? Varg will answer one.
all right. She kind of gives you a wry look for a moment. And then she says,
Varg knows you ask questions.
She says, "Oh, I have questions, but let me do my rounds first, and then how about I come back to you?"
What's your
Varg
dick
will
like,
sit
homie?
at empty table.
Okay, there is an empty table. Actually, yeah, that's. Let me put this on here so that way there's no confusion.
I feel this is a what's under your kilt question.
Right. So
What are you? What's your dick like, homie? What are you into? This is an Azalea Banks question.
All right, so as you start to move over, the table in the corner has two gentlemen. Those are the two that were looking at you. And
That
then
was the table.
yeah, and the open table is actually right next to them. So the one as you're looking at it to those two, the one to their left is actually an open table. There you
Varg
go.
will sit in the position so they can stare at the people who he has winked at least twice,
Okay.
and they have not winked back.
Okay. They have not. They have not. Kett, you are walking in the door. Where are you headed?
Kett's headed to the bar to his companions. He shoots a look over at Varg as he's making his way to the bar. Varg seems to be handling themselves just fine. So
You catch him winking at strangers.
yeah, yep. This is a regular Tuesday. So
He's still working on the personality part.
Varg will settle up to the, or sorry, Kett will settle up next to the bar, next to Cornelia.
Right. All right. So, what?
When he gets to the bar, Kett like looks at the bartender and says, "One dark."
Okay, and you are given a dark ale.
And he points at whatever's in front of Adama. One of those things. One of those.
Oh, a meat muffin.
Sure. That sounds good.
The hot pocket.
Hot pocket, right? All right. So as
Pocket.
right as you are as you're sitting there, Varg, the gentleman in the corner doesn't move. He just he's like sipping his drink very slowly, and then the gentleman to his as you're looking at it to his left actually scoots his chair over right next to you, and leans forward and says, "You are new here. Are you?
Can you tell?
Do you like women?"
Varg likes people that like Varg back.
He nods. He says, "Do you have money?"
Varg will pat pockets. Does Varg have money?
Actually, it should say on your character sheet.
Oh no, I don't think I have.
Let's see. It's under inventory, I believe. Gold.
Where is inventory?
On the right-hand side of your character sheet, you have a tab that says inventory.
It's a very tiny tab.
Oh my gosh, my glasses are not on my face, so that's hard to see. Okay, so my first suggestion to this would be, please make that larger.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard to read.
So it looks
What
like
does upkeep mean?
upkeep is it's the amount of gold that you have to spend when you do downtime to upkeep your gear and maintain your whatever chosen lifestyle you have.
That's expensive.
Yes, it is. But it's over a course of time. it's not like, just over the weekend.
Okay,
Varg is a mercenary.
Yeah.
guess.
Not breaking
I
their
mean-
equipment on people's heads.
My axe is like broken. Just got some. What bone daggers do not need upkeep. Yeah, so Varg will tap their pockets. Varg has gold. Do you have what do you want Varg's gold for again?
All right. He says, he looks over towards the guy sitting in the corner and he looks back at you and he says, well, let's just say that what we've got upstairs, the person wasn't able to pay for. And he kind of looks around and he says, we took her, but her husband turned out to be broke.
Ha.
Ah.
This is human trafficking. This is human trafficking.
Varg sees situation. Varg must use brain for a moment. Give Varg some time to consider. Can Varg buy a whole human together? Not just like a foot or a hand. Varg wants whole human.
All right. He says, if you pay the ransom, she's yours.
Is her husband alive, or did you kill him because you couldn't pay?
All right. He sits there for a second and he kind of squints and he looks at you and he says, oh no, he's alive. He's just poor. See, who we thought living in a big house, had a lot of money, whatnot. And turns out he was in debt and didn't have enough money to pay to have his new bride returned.
Oh, they were new brides.
Yes. I don't know what he did with his old one.
Really considers this moment. Okay. Yeah, Varg will act on their own. Varg will buy person and bring them to friends, and this is great. Varg, how much gold do you need for person buying?
He says, 4 gold would cover the expenses that we've put into housing her and things like that. And you
Again, whole person. Varg is not being ripped off with half of a person.
No. She's all there.
Fingers and toes.
Yeah. She's
Teeth?
unspoiled. We
Hair.
we didn't touch her or anything. Nope.
Is she
Okay.
breathing?
Is she alive?
Of course. We wouldn't sell you a dead girl.
I've been there before. I
Dead
understand
dove.
you people are not. You warm people have very strange practices of other people. Bard can't express frustrations. It's fine.
He says, "Well, then just follow me. I'll take you. We'll take you to her, and you can even have the room.
Varg would also like free room.
Well, you're paying for it.
Eric,
Yes.
Is Adama picking up on any of this?
This is
room?
clear. This is actually so far away with all the noise and everything.
Yeah.
You just sit. You can look back and you can see Varg is having some sort of a transaction with this skeezy guy. But other than that, and then you see him gesture towards the stairs, and you know that there's the stage up there, and there's also part of the kitchen. But then also there's a door that leads like to the rest of the inn, and he kind of points up there, and then he goes to stand up. If you want to go with him, you can.
Yep.
Okay, so he just like starts to walk up the stairs.
Cornelia, don't look at me like that.
No, I
Right.
think it's fine. I'm just scared you're gonna get shanked.
Okay, so Adama's not gonna let her go alone if she sees sees him going upstairs with these shysterly humans.
Sure, no problem. All right, so Varg is going, and then both the guy who didn't talk and then his crony are going. Varg is going, and then Adama is going. Anybody else?
Yeah, Adama says to Kett, watch Cornelia. I need to see what is happening here.
And Kett kind of turns with like half this meat muffin in his mouth. He's like, call if you need something.
She's like, don't eat mine.
Mm-hmm.
Hands off. She goes upstairs.
All right.
Follows them.
Kett reaches past Cornelia and grabs the meat muffin off of the bar.
Bastard.
Didn't even wait.
Cornelia is going to very gently nudge the ale that she got over to Kett as well, just because Cornelia's not gonna drink that. And then she's gonna lean over to the beautiful, terrifying bartender and be like, "Can I have one more muffin? And do you have any water?"
She nods and says, "Oh, honey, we've got the best water in all of Karaja. We've got a Sweetwater well." And she's like, "That's why the ale is so good." And then she turns and she pulls a hand, like a handle down, and you can see just water starts to bubble into a cup, and she turns and hands it to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
On the house.
As that cup of water hits the bar, Kett's gonna reach his left hand out and grab it.
Hey.
Not until you drink the dark. You wanted an adventure. This is where you start.
It makes my head hurt.
Finish the cup, you'll get the water.
Okay.
Adventuring 101.
Dark ale.
So she's gonna drink the ale, but with the stankiest face on.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. So as you guys are getting your drink on, then let's see here.
So what am I seeing when I look at these two? Their weapons, their
How
armor.
greasy are they?
They are, yeah. How greasy are they? They're carrying scimitars, and let's see. Let me call them up again here. Actually, there we go. Okay, so they are carrying just regular swords, and then the guy who was doing most of the talking actually has a light crossbow over his shoulder. They are wearing brigadine, so a heavy mail. I think both of them are wearing that. Let me double check. Yes, I believe so. Yep. So they both have light crossbows, short sword or regular swords, and brigadine armor. So, as you are now walking up the stairs, there we go. You go up into the actual inn part, and
I hope she's escaped out that window.
all right, let's see here. Oops. There we go. Get a little bit of girth to him. All right, so as you're walking up, it's Adama and Varg are walking up. The guy that did most of the talking actually stops at the top of the stairs while the other guy keeps going. And he heads to this door. And he just kind of fumbles with some keys and starts to open the door. You can position yourselves wherever you want to.
When Adama gets near Varg, she's just going to. They've worked together for a little while, right?
I imagine we've been
Yeah.
for
Yeah. She's just going to be like, careful with this one, all right? I'll stay out here.
Okay, thank you. Varg is grateful.
So she's going to stay outside, essentially right outside the door here,
Okay.
and let Varg go inside and do whatever Varg is doing. Because Adama doesn't even know what's happening,
Right.
actually.
That's true. You just walked up. We're like, hey, what's up?
She's just like, what's happening? Doing a head nod. Hey, what's up?
All right, so he fumbles with the lock. He unlocks the door, opens the door, and you see that there are actually, I accidentally deleted one. But,
Oh, that's fine.
oh no, it's where are we at here? Here we go. Okay.
So I guess while you're doing that, how do we as players get audio? Or is it just something you've set up for Roll20 or for Twitch?
What do you mean?
There-
I think it's someone's actual back. Like, is it raining at someone's house?
it's,
Oh, Nathan,
it's
is
coming
it-
down. It's coming down super hard at my house.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's actually raining here too. So
that's so funny.
Oh.
I saw in the
like-
chat earlier that was like, "Oh, I love the
Rain.
ambient rain noise." I'm like,
Yeah, am I
No,
missing something?
I just
I'm
texted my
jealous.
wife and I was like, "The rain sounds so awesome here."
all right, so he opens up the door, and there's actually two people in the room. There's the one sitting at the end of the bed, and then there's a younger girl like looking out the window. And he snaps his fingers, and the one at the end of the bed turns and looks at you. And this is her.
Okay.
"Aw."
And she turns and looks at you and she doesn't look like she's scared or anything like that. It's just more of a kind of a matter of fact, like, oh, this is another day, and just kind of looks at Varg and and then looks at the guy at the door, and says, "Togi, have you found a buyer?" And he looks at her and says, "I believe I have."
Varg will take a moment to look the woman up and down. Varg understands you are just new wedding. You are new. You are new to being married, and Varg has questions. Does your bride not wish you to be with them?
She looks at Varg and says, "I'm sure he probably does," but shrugs and says, "But it has become quite clear that binding myself to such an old man, with a penniless old man, doesn't suit my lifestyle." So when the opportunity came and Togi presented me with an option, I heartily agreed.
So Varg is thinking. Varg likes to be hero. And Varg wanted to save you and return you to Bride, but that is not a idea, is it?
Shakes her head and says, if word gets back that Togi has someone else has paid Togi's ransom, then my husband has no leg to stand on, and he will just have to let me go. If you pay the ransom, then I am yours to do as you will. If you set me free, you set me free. If you want me as a servant, I will act as a servant. Anything is better than a life of servitude to that man.
So who again? Varg is very confused.
All right.
Togi? Togi is
She points out the door at the turbaned man and says, that is Togi, the man you are paying.
Ah, Togi, can you come here for a minute? Varg has questions.
All right, he steps forward. Says, yes,
This is
Varg.
amazing watching Varg do this.
Yes, Varg.
So I'm gonna toss this in the room. Hold on. Varg has something to show you. Can Togi come here? Varg has perhaps gold. Varg has information about this. He gestures at the woman again. This.
All right, he kind of seems a little, he looks at you like, looks over his shoulder at the guy at the door, gives him a chin up, and then steps into the room. The guy down the hall now is starting to move towards the door.
Okay, can I kill Togi?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so.
Is that really not what we thought I was gonna do?
Here, let me show you something.
One.
Oops. All right.
Wow.
Varg has a magic trick for Togi.
I have something, I got to make something disappear.
Oh my goodness. Who's the other little girl?
Oh, I didn't ask yet.
Oh,
Doo-doo-doo.
so
Adama
hard to
has
be
no idea
downstairs.
what's happening.
Okay. All right. So, Varg, you're first because player characters always go first unless I spend Doom to kind of jump the initiative, which I am not going to do. Oops. So, alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and reduce that. Get it all down here. Okay. So, you tell him to come here. He steps into the room, and what? What are you going to do?
I have these two really lovely bone-carved daggers.
Okay.
And I mean, for lack of a better word, I'm gonna just shank him.
Okay.
For use of a better term, I would like to stab him to kill him.
Okay. All right. So
For those who aren't sure, you've tuned into a Conan game.
yes, you certainly have. All right. So at this point, he is unarmed because he hasn't drawn his weapon. So you're just gonna shank him right there. So I'm gonna say he does not have his guard.
Okay.
What that means is anytime that a person is aware of an attack coming, and is ready, they are considered having their guard. If you deny them their guard, either with a maneuver or by surprise, then your reach comes into factor. And then so he doesn't have a weapon in his hand. You have a reach 1 weapon, so you're going to actually get an additional dice on your attack. Ooh. So instead of 2 dice, you're going to have 3. You have 2 momentum in the pool. Which you are free to use if you wish to stab Togi.
Oh my god.
Now here's
Yeah, I'm greedy. I'm gonna use all the. I just want to use 1 more momentum. So.
Okay, so you're gonna have a total of 4 dice in your hand.
Perfect.
You generated it. You use it.
Yeah. Target number is 1 because he's not gonna parry because he doesn't know this is coming. Though he should. But he's like,
I've been unassuming.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
Friendly. I paid the gold.
Absolutely, he's got the money in his hand. He's like, yeah, money. Yeah, this is great.
I've been talking with whatever her name is. We've been getting along. Like I'm not like an angry buyer. I'm satisfied.
Oh yeah. And then you
Varg has something to show you.
Right, and it's these 2 knives. Okay, so knife number 1. Well, here's the way two weapon combat works. You're going to make your first attack. and then you're going to resolve your first attack. And then if you still want to your second attack with your offhand or your other hand weapon, you have to spend 1 momentum. Now, if you just use the same weapon, let's say you're using just a sword, or if you have a battle axe or something like that, it normally will cost 2 momentum for a second attack. But because you're using fighting with 2 weapons, it only costs 1. And that's for everybody. Everybody can fight with 2 weapons. Or take a second attack if you have enough momentum. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you've clicked your buttons for 4 total dice. You are needing 1 success to hit, and you're double-clicking your melee.
My melee. So where is that?
Okay, on your character sheet. Let me.
Oh, melee.
Yep, and so your melee is it's under agility, and you just click the 16, double-click it, and it should come up.
Oh, I was clicking the wrong melee.
There you go. 6 successes.
Dang.
So you generated 5 momentum. So go ahead and put
Wow.
5 momentum in the pool.
1, 2,
Dang.
Four.
Shank.
2, 3. Oh, well, let me add
Oh,
more.
yep, 6 is the max.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes. All right. So you come in you're like, here's the money. I got something to tell you. He's like, yeah, sure. And he's like counting the money as he steps in, and you just go thump. So the next thing you're going to do is on your character sheet,
Yeah.
where it says knife, antler, horn, just double click the 3.
Knife, antler, horn, double click the 3.
There you go. All right. So what that means is, and if you're looking at it, you got 5 total successes. So you did 5 points of damage,
Okay.
and then you have 2 effects. So that's what those little phoenix on the dice mean. A phoenix counts as 1, and then a special effect. So if you click your the shield on under your attacks, right next to where it says knife, antler, horn, you can see that it has 3 special qualities, right?
Okay. So, yeah, I see.
Okay, so what that means is you can actually use 2, you have 2 effects, so you can get 2 special qualities. Now, obviously, hidden means that you could, let's see, it says your attack is easy to conceal, which is exactly what you just did, right?
Yeah.
So if it required an observation check, which if I would have rolled observation to see this coming, the difficulty would have been 1 higher because it's a hidden weapon. But we didn't bother with that. So improvised, we're not worried about that either, because that's just saying that it's not really designed to be other things. What we're looking for is what's called unforgiving.
Yeah.
Unforgiving if the target of this was affected by an exploit action, which means they are denied their guard, which I told you in the beginning. He is not expecting this. This is a sneak attack weapon. So an exploit action immediately before this attack, so I'm going to just say that it was, then the attack gains the intense and the vicious quality. So what that means is vicious 1 means for every phoenix that you roll, you add another damage.
So I did a total of 7 damage.
Total of 7 damage. Okay.
Dang.
And then what intense means is, because for every 5 points of damage, after you take armor soak out of the way, so you did 7 damage, right? Mm-hmm. He has an armor of 2. So that automatically makes it 5 damage.
Yep.
For every 5 points of damage you do, you give a wound.
Ah.
So you gave him 1 wound. But
Okay.
because this weapon has the intense quality, if you inflict 1 wound, you inflict 2. That's what intense means.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So 2 wounds. He is considered, you have the different stages of NPCs. You have minions, which only have 1 wound. And then you have what Togi is, which is called toughened, which has 2 wounds. You just killed Togi.
So, okay.
God.
Can I narrate?
However you wanted.
death
How
of
did you
Togi?
kill Togi?
Please do.
So Varg kind of gestures Togi over. He's like, Varg has something to show you. And he gently slips out the deer antler daggers and just stabs him lower gut, but somewhere still fatal. I think like 1 in the lower gut, 1 near his sternum and up
Okay.
into his heart.
All right.
And Togi just kind of like falls into Varg's arms. Using discretion, rather or not they're covered in blood, Varg will kind of like hide his daggers with the body kind of as a shield. And then, Varg's friend, you are very sleepy. Oh, so silly. And then Varg will gently carry Togi over to the bed.
All
And
right.
like,
Okay, so what happens is you stab him and then he like falls into you. He squeals. There's no doubt about it. He makes a loud screeching noise when you
I
stab
say
him.
bless you.
And which I'm gonna go ahead and make an observation check for his guy here to see if he.
Do you get disadvantage because I shout bless you?
I'll increase the target number. So instead of 1, you get 2.
Okay.
Would Adama be making one as well, being out in the hallway?
Yes.
do you wanna hear
yes. You would be making an observation check as well. So for NPCs,
What's my DC?
your DC is going to be 1 because you know that Varg doesn't have allergies. So why would Varg be making
Also,
up?
like, yeah.
Yeah, and you know Varg well enough to know that. I'll just say you know Varg well enough to know that that's a ruse, but this Togi's man doesn't know that. So we'll put his target number at 2. Yours is at 1.
You know Varg well enough that you know that social niceties are not a normal
Right.
Varg
You've
thing.
never heard him say "bless you" in your entire career.
Ever.
Yeah. So Adama, you know exactly what that meant.
Alrighty.
So and now, so as if you're looking for those watching,
Are we establishing that Varg has stabbed someone before and then said bless you?
very well could be.
Is this maybe the only time that they've ever heard
Like,
Varg
as they
say
were
bless
dying,
you?
they sneezed. Or like, I don't know.
All right, so Togi's man. For those of you watching what's going on, I've got Togi's man up. He's going to make a perception check, and it's a senses roll. So it's an 8 plus a 1. So his target number is 9. I have 2 dice, so I'm going to double click. So I've got the 2 dice in my hand. I'm not going to spend any of my doom on this roll. So we'll see what happens. I got a 9. I got a 19 and a 7. He needed
That's what, 1 success?
it's 1 success. So he needed 2. So he did not. He just stands there. So as he's just standing there, you hear Varg say, "Ooh, bless you," and then Adama, you knew what that meant, and Togi's man is just standing there, just kind of like, like don't know what's up.
So describe Togi's man to me really quickly. What am I looking at?
Okay, so he's bare chested. He has a bandolier on that's holding his sword, and he's got leather bracers on. Hair is slicked back like with some sort of like either a pomade or a grease or something. And
it's definitely animal fat.
yeah, he's got lard. He uses lard pomade, and his beard is kind of patchy because he's got. It looks like at one point someone had cut his mouth, so it was badly like stitched back together. So like the right side of his jaw it's like hairless, but so he's got a full beard, but then there's like a stripe of just scar tissue. And he's got like a sinister looking leer about him. So he kind of looks at you like when Varg says "bless you," he kind of looks over at Adama and he's kind of eyeing Adama not wholesomely at this point.
She's gonna at that noise. She's gonna give him this look like, perhaps there is a problem. You should act on it. That didn't sound right. Don't you think that was a strange sound?
So you're gonna try and get him to go in there.
Oh yeah, so he turns his back on me so I can stab him.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
Look, Varg is not ready.
So much better.
Varg welcomes you to adventure.
Meanwhile, Cornelia is downstairs feeling kind of burpy and getting the hiccups.
Getting bloated already.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
All right. So you say that to him like that was kind of weird.
Strange sound. You should maybe go check that out.
What is that exactly?
He doesn't look very bright.
So yeah, let's do a persuade check on your part. Target number is 1. He's kind of unknowing what's going on. You have 6 momentum in the pool. So
I'll use a couple momentum then.
okay?
Why not?
So drag and drop 2 momentum into
what
the
it's there
chat.
for.
All right. So if it's like 4 clicks, so I have 4 yellow dots, right?
Yes, correct. And then you drag your 2 momentum onto the chat box.
How do I drag 2 momentum onto the chat?
Just the green where it has the 6. Just
yes.
left click that and drag it. There you go. Just like that. And do one
And
more.
then the next one. Did it work?
Waiting. Nope, doesn't look like it. Try it. There you go.
Okay.
All right, so
All right.
you've spent your 2 momentum, you added 2 dice to your pool, and now you're rolling persuasion, target 1. All right, and you generated 2 momentum, so the 2 that you spent, you get back.
So nice.
So go ahead and add those 2 to your pool by double-clicking the pool. There you go. All right, and he goes, he just kind of looks at you and goes, you know what, you're right. So he just kind of he just walks right past you. And
as he goes through that door, she's gonna like follow him, like she's also curious to find out what's going on. Like, of course, like we're gonna go check it out.
Okay.
And he walks in through that door. She is gonna follow with her sword right through his back.
All right.
Oh my god.
All right. So as this is happening, so the door has been open this whole time. Varg, he falls into you and is like slumping down and like bleeding on you at this point.
Yep.
And the lady at the end of the bed, her eyes just like go wide, and you hear her go, "No." And
Vargas fixed the problem.
and she like sinks to her knees and is like so dude is like leaning up against you, like, you know, in his death, and it's like sliding down to the floor, and she is dropped to her knees and her hands are reaching out towards his back, like, oh no, and like her lips are quivering, and you see tears are welling up in her eyes, and she's like, this wasn't supposed to happen. All right. And Varg, the little girl at the window, turns around and sees what happens and smiles.
Huh?
Okay.
Varg was helping.
All right. So, Adama, you're attacking, and so Togi's man just walks in and sees what's going on, and he's like, "What the?" And as Adama does her thing.
Yeah. Okay. So what do I do?
Okay. All right. So you're attacking him. I'm gonna say that he is also. I'll say that he is actually kind of, you know, he's paid to be ready for things.
Mm-hmm.
So your target number is going to be 1.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and open up your character sheet here so I can see it. So your target number is 1. You have 6 momentum in the pool. Are you spending any momentum on this roll?
Sure. I'm gonna use at least 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and drop 2 momentum.
All right.
All right.
There we go.
And then, so you'll have 4 dice.
Yep. Got that.
And I'll tell you what, technically, because of the way the rules work, is your action was actually to roll the persuade check. So spend another momentum. That gives you another action. So you're essentially just spending the momentum. You're just
to act again.
to act again. And so the
Okay.
first one was to act again as he walked past you. You're taking advantage of his positioning is what you're doing. And
Gotcha.
so, and now you're spending the 2 for the extra dice for your attack. So that way we're still all legal. Okay. And then see where it says melee 15?
Yep.
Just double click that. There you go. You had 6 successes, so you generate 5 momentum. So go ahead and add. You're going to top out at 6 again on your pool.
All right.
There you go. All right, and then on your combat tab on your character sheet,
Yes.
you're using your sword. Are you? It doesn't matter which one. Just for flair, are you using the regular sword or using the one with the bronze handle?
Oh, the bronze handle.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. So double click the 4 next to that, where it says damage. There you go. Oh, not real great. So what that means is you did a total of 3 damage, but you got 2 effects. So if you're looking at your character sheet where it says attacks, you click that little shield next to where it says sword, and then you can see what the qualities are. Unfortunately, for a regular sword, the quality is just parrying, so it doesn't give you any extra cool damage. Now, here's the thing. So you did a total of 3 points of damage. Now, Togi's man is what's considered a minion. Minion only have, as soon as they take 5 points of damage, they're dead. Okay. Now he has armor of 2. So you need to do a total of 7 damage to kill him. You've done 3 damage. Now, what you can do is you can spend 1 for 1 momentum for damage. So right now you've done 3. So if you spent 4 momentum, you kill him.
Oh, definitely. We need him dead and not talking.
Okay.
I need you to
Alright.
describe how glorious this looks, because like this is almost like a layered success to it. It's like you almost didn't have it and then you did.
Okay, so he walks in through the door and he starts to make a noise, and Adama pulls out her sword as soon as he's through the doorway, and I'm gonna say like he catches like a glint or something out of the corner of his eye and starts to kind of like move out of the way.
Okay.
And so she stabs him, but not like a death kill, like, you know, in the back, like gets him good, but he still moves out of the way, and she literally just like yanks the sword to the side and shoves it in harder.
Oh my god.
Just forces it in.
Guys are so bloodthirsty.
Just,
We are mercenaries.
I mean,
That's right.
I'm so glad I decided to play a
It's-
scholar so I can have very genuine Cornelia reactions to all of this. Like, oh my goodness!
Right. All right.
she's
So
like, I'm gonna go digging for the good stuff. Let me find something important.
Meanwhile, my lawful good ass is like, that's a murder!
all right. So as Adama, as you stab the guy and you just work it into him, and go into the room. The like I said, the one woman is now on the floor crying at the feet of the dead Togi. As you're now, I'll move you up to the door there. And then the guy, his man, just kind of falls on the other side, hits the bed and falls to the other side of it.
On this day, she learned that when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So then she's crying. She looks at Varg. Varg, make an observation. Actually, Varg and Adama both make observation checks. Target 1.
think I see things.
Observation. What's the DC? 1?
1. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Varg generated a momentum, and Adama just succeeded. So go ahead and add a momentum there, Varg.
I did.
All right. So as he's now down, you see that she's like weeping, like openly, like no, and she looks up at Varg, and both of you know that she has reached under the belt of this Togi guy and is now pulling his knife.
Can I like hold her hands?
Sure, absolutely. That's
That's
still
like
it's still a melee attack. You're
Yeah,
just
okay.
you're just essentially trying to grapple. So you're not going to be using, because she's going to have her weapon. So she's going to have a weapon in her hand. Are you dropping your knives, or how are you doing that? Because
I put my knives away.
so you put them away as she lunges at you with her knife, and you're gonna, because you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and spend a point of doom so she can go first. So you're like putting your knives away as she stands up and it's like, you bastard, and she's going at you.
Varg is ready to be stabbed. Not the first time
Varg
Varg is
is ready to be-
Right.
No.
Let's see here.
The word.
Oh my
Varg gets
goodness.
stabbed a lot for helping. Varg thinks they do great things, and
To be
Wow.
100% honest, I didn't have stats ready for her because I didn't expect her to you guys to do all of this. So
I'm dying, Kate, when we're
Oh,
done all
come
this.
on.
We have to
So,
have 10
I-
seconds, and I want to know what your expectations were, because there's no way we beat them.
So I am going to, this is a beautiful, I'm glad you did though, because this is a beautiful way to showcase how things work in
Yes.
Fantasy Grounds, because what I'm doing is I'm just changing, I'm just calling her a thug, and I'm changing her on the fly. So I'm giving her the stats of just a regular old thug, and I'm just adding dagger to her gear.
Okay.
Which I'm doing it wrong. Okay, so I need to go to battle. There we go. Right, there we go. So I'm going to remove.
Adama is loyal and bloodthirsty. Noted.
There we
This
go.
has been good character development.
Yeah. All right, so
Varg's just doing what they think is socially proper. It's
I
something
mean-
that would be right to do in Asgard, but
Yeah.
they forget very quickly that may not be the right thing here.
Killing human traffickers tends to be the right choice.
But when you get stabbed afterwards,
Yeah.
you get what you get, right?
yeah, you take the good with the bad.
This lady's shady. At first, I was like, oh, but it's just suspicious.
She was just trying to fleece people for money.
Yeah.
And on some level, I respect that because,
You do what you can to survive.
yeah,
Under Conan.
but I'm concerned about the child behind her. But I'm not there, so
Concerned or wanting to adopt? Because I'm really leaning towards the last one.
Cornelia.
Who doesn't like a good stabby stepchild, right? Or
Yeah.
stabby adopted child?
It's on my to-do list.
All right, so I just added I'm adding a knife. I know that, or a dagger. I know that there's an easier way to do this, but I'm not going to mess around with it too much. So I just went ahead and manually entered it in. And I'll leave dagger up just so I can keep tabs on it. Okay. All right, so ready. So now I'm going to add her to that. Okay, there we go. All right. Kitty cat. All right, so all right, so she's gonna lunge. I spent the doom, so she gets to go, and it's for every NPC. So if I would have had a group of NPCs, I would actually spend multiple doom just so that way they could go first. So each NPC has to be is one doom spend. All right, so she has a dagger in her hand. She's got a combat. She needs a. Let's see here. Let me call up Varg here. Agility of 9, so she needs a 10 to stab you.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. I spent 1 doom to go. I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 more doom to give her 4 dice because you just killed her secret lover.
I mean, I figured as much.
Right. All right, and her
Yeah.
target number. And so here we go. And I needed a 10, and she got 0 successes
Really?
out of all of that. So
Wow.
she
Wow.
wildly comes at you with the knife and takes a swipe and misses completely. So, right. So now it's around to the player characters. So Varg, you were wanting to do a grab.
Yeah, I just want to hold her down. If I have to tie her up in like sheets, I'll do so just until I can
Okay.
talk with
Okay.
her.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a melee attack. She has a dagger in her hand, so she actually she gets the possibility to parry this. Actually.
Okay. I'm not really going to use anything fancy because I'm not super committed to this.
Okay.
Oh.
So you got a success.
Oh, I only rolled for 1 difficulty. Was it?
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, and then she rolls her parry and got a success. So you go to grab her and she slices at your hand. She doesn't damage you, but it's enough
Okay.
to keep your hands back. So you do not grab her.
Okay.
You can spend a momentum for a second attack if you want.
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay.
As she kind of slices, Varg will kind of, he pulls back. Varg wants to help. Varg doesn't understand why violence is your reaction. Is violence for happiness? Is violence for gratitude? Adama, and Varg's gonna shout kind of towards you. Varg needs your help. Varg doesn't understand. And I will use my second attack to try and get the advantage.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to
Oh
add a
no.
momentum.
Oh,
That was just to use it, and I failed anyways.
Yep. All right. So did you spend the momentum just to do it?
Yes.
Okay, you did. All right. So what happens is difficulty 1, so you got 0 successes, and you got a complication.
Oh no.
Finally, though, we haven't got complications in a while.
Yeah. So a complication, and it's just a 1 complication is just a minor setback. So what we'll say is, Varg, you're stumbling, and she's slicing at you with the knife or the dagger.
Body.
We'll say that she
Or slick with blood.
Yeah, so yeah, it's slick with blood. So she, in backing up, your arms are coated with blood, so will increase your target number to grab her by 1.
Okay.
That's the complication. So now you're covered. You got blood on your arms, and it's making it hard for you to grab her.
Okay. I don't know if like this is just me trying to pull people in, but like maybe like the stomping around upstairs could have kind of got the attention from those below.
Well, there's something that's going to be happening to them
Okay.
down below.
I feel
so-
bad.
No, it's fine.
I'm
Oh, don't
me
feel
as a player,
bad.
I want to
No.
include people.
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right.
There's
So,
absolutely nothing wrong with splitting the party. Nothing.
Yeah, Adama's gonna try to. So she sees this woman stabbing Varg. Varg's like, "I'm just trying to help." Shit. Does Adama stab her too?
Oh no! Oh my god!
I mean, you see an attacker.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't
see
even
some-
know
And
the
you
situation.
as you walk in, you
No
see
idea
there's a
what
dead guy. There's a woman with a knife going at Varg. Varg's covered in blood.
She could be 15. She could be 8. You don't know.
Actually, well, you can tell just from her looks that she looks like she's like in her like late teens or early 20s.
Oh my god.
The
Yeah.
picture on the little token is a little deceiving.
Well, sure.
She looks like a young. I mean, old enough. She looks old enough. She looks, and if she's old enough to stab somebody, she's old enough to die.
Oh
So-
my god! I mean, honestly, without knowing anything, Adama comes into the situation
Yeah.
and sees, their friend being attacked. Like, you're doing
Yeah,
what you think
no.
is right. And I think
Yeah.
that's
Of course.
fine. I would
yeah,
do the same.
100%.
Yeah,
Mercenaries
so I
look
think
out for each other.
she's mercenary's gonna mercenary and
Yeah.
stab her.
All right, mercenary, let's do it.
Stab without judgment.
Oh, I really love this. I'm never going to be so murderous in my games.
All right, so Adama, you step up into the room, and there she's at. She's slicing at your friend, and you come up behind her.
Yep.
I will say that your target number is still going to be 1, just because she
Okay.
is armed.
All right. She's a little confused, so I don't think I'm going to add any of our momentum to it at this
Okay.
point because, yeah, I think she's just going to straight up try and. She may go for maiming instead of killing.
Sure. Let's see how that works out.
Do it up.
We'll just cripple her. That's
All
fine.
right. So you generate a momentum. So you hit and
Okay.
generate a momentum,
All right.
and go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. Where is it? There it is.
Okay, so you did a total of 4 damage. You got 2 effects, but you're using a sword, so that doesn't. There's really no special effects to a sword when it comes to damage.
Yeah.
So 4 points of damage. She has just regular like clothing on, so that only gives her a 1 point of soak. So, I mean, you would need to do 6 points of damage to kill her. I mean, you've definitely hurt her, so she is not
Has she
dead.
been maimed?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's perfectly within reality. Is you came in, however you do it, you've effectively made it so 1 more hit will kill her, and so you stab her, and
Yeah, I think she probably like cuts her across the back of the legs so she falls down.
okay,
Wow.
Ah!
I don't think you come back from that one, really. like hamstring? Hamstring?
Ooh.
Oh god!
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of.
Popular move against their enemies. I've seen you do it quite elegantly, so.
Right,
I
so
mean,
yeah, you slice the back of her legs, and she stumbles, and she is now leaning up against the wall. She kind of falls and falls against the wall, and now she's crying.
Oh yeah,
And,
understandably.
And and like as she's like grabbing her bleeding legs, you see one of her hands reach over and like stroke Togi's hair.
so Adama's going to place the sword at her throat and basically say, "Don't move a muscle." And then she looks over at Varg and she's like, "Varg,
Ah.
but are we killing people?"
Well, it's a long story. I guess you want to kill her? She's going to suffer now. Varg understands. This is a mercy, and Varg respects mercy.
I'm in such lawful good hell right now.
She cannot, like, she's not, we don't have the technology for her to live a good life at this point. Like,
We don't have the technology.
We have the technology.
No, she's fucked.
There's no coming back from that one.
Varg will explain. We can bring small human in corner, and Varg really needs hot rolls. Varg has been hungry for hours.
All right, so the sword goes through her throat at that point. She's just
All right, you put her down.
finishing her off. Like,
Okay.
okay, she like cleans her swords up. You know,
All right.
sticks it back.
Yeah, I'll clean my bone daggers off on somebody else's clothes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh my
And
god.
I'm taking my gold back.
Yeah, sure.
Plus whatever else they
Absolutely.
had.
Yeah. You
Loot
take.
the bodies.
I
Yeah.
love how this is just like a hangry episode. Like,
If they had gotten the hot rolls when they had come into the bar,
Right.
it would have been a
Everything
totally
would have been
different thing.
chill.
It would have been so chill.
if somebody had
Varg
handed
was
Varg a
hangry.
Snickers, this whole thing could have been avoided.
That's right. That's right.
Now
That's
you
what they
know.
get. That's what they get.
And Kett ate my food, so I'm just saying.
That's
The
right.
narrative is still there.
Cornelia got you another.
All right. So the girl that's standing next to the window, she just kind of turns and looks at you, and watches you, slice the back of the lady's legs and run your sword through her throat to finish her off. She doesn't bat an eye. She just is watching, almost like curious, like why, like she doesn't really understand what's going on. And then she looks up at you, like she's like looking down, and then she like slowly looks you in the face and says, with a very odd accent, "Are you my new masters now?"
Yep.
Perhaps.
Varg understands.
I think so.
This is what has happened. We adopted a child.
It's
Adama, we are parents. This is beautiful.
clearly.
Yes, I've always wanted to have a child, and I really haven't. Varg is terrified of them. Varg thinks that they kind of smell.
I had lots of siblings. You'll be fine. Just,
She
Yeah.
intro-
to them.
she introduces herself as Padre.
Okay, I feel a lot better now because I thought this was the other way around. I thought this girl was the one that was going after Varg. And the other woman was like kind of standing by, like stunned. So this makes a lot more sense now, and I feel a lot better about how this played out.
We did not murder a child.
Yeah,
No, you
you
did
nope,
not.
that's
No.
Yes.
I
correct.
see what you were thinking because you
I
made
thought-
a comment, and I wondered.
yeah, no, I see. Yeah, I thought this girl was the one with the wry little smile that picked up the knife. I'm like, well, I guess she's gonna get it.
Oh no!
Nope.
Does she have a pentagram on her forehead?
There is some sort of a strange symbol on. It looks like it doesn't look like a tattoo or a it's not like a face paint. It's not like a tattoo, and it's certainly not like a brand. It looks almost like a strange birthmark.
Okay.
How much gold do we get?
Oh yeah, that's important.
Let's get down to brass tacks.
Let's
That's
figure
right.
it out.
Listen,
So you
I have
rifle.
upkeep.
There you go. You rifle through the dead guy's pockets, and you let's go ahead and give you what they had. I can do that right here. There we go.
Padre. It's a hard word for me to say. Padre.
Padre.
Padre with my Varg accent.
All right, so
Padre.
Togi had 5 gold, and he had a light crossbow and a sword, and he had brigandine armor, and so like a brigandine coat. And I think, yep, his man had the same things, minus the money. He only had 2 gold on him.
Okay. 5, 6, 7.
You also find a key to the room and another key.
Oh, 2 keys. Okay. Adama, do you want to take 3 gold each and give 1 to Padre?
That works.
Okay. Yeah, Varg will divvy out the gold and then hand Padre a gold piece.
Trauma.
All right, she looks down at it and just kind of like curiously and then looks back at you like she doesn't know what to do with it.
Varg wants you to hold on to gold. Gold is currency. Gold will buy you things. You can steal things, but buying also works. And Varg suggests using the gold. It is a gift to welcome you to family. We will take care of you. And I like and he's going to gesture to the marking on her forehead.
Okay.
We can be friends. I have markings and you have markings.
All right. She looks at you and she hesitates for a moment and then says, friends, yes. Friends are good.
Friends are good.
Hi.
Varg likes them. Varg can bring you to meet more friends. Right, Adama? We have more.
And she holds out the money. She holds like the money out like towards Adama. Friends?
All right. Keep the gold. I've got.
Oh, she thinks
gold.
she buys friends. That's
No.
my bad. I taught her to buy friends.
It's all right. The gold was a gift. You can just keep it for yourself, child.
Or you can buy friends. I mean, no, it's gift. Yes, listen to Adama. Not good at this.
Right. So, Padre, we will have questions for you later, but
Okay.
just out of curiosity, I don't suppose you have heard of someone. We're looking for someone by the name of where are my notes? Cenobus.
All right.
Says a little voice.
All right.
Heard of this name.
She says, Sonobus. And then she nods. And she says, Sonobus. And then points to Togi and says, was supposed to pay Togi.
Oh, do you know when? Varg would like to know.
Don't know.
Shit. Huh.
Sometime.
Was supposed to pay for.
Was that Cenobus's wife?
Was that yes? Was that the
I didn't put
wife?
that together.
Yeah. Adama is asking. Good. Adama is asking.
All right. She looks and she says, I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well,
I
you're
name
interesting.
Cenobus familiar. And then she points at the dead woman and says, when Togi say Cenobus name, she would.
Sounds like her ex-husband. All right. Well, we can go inform him.
That
That,
was an ex.
listen, we did him a favor, right, Varg? I mean,
Yeah.
they were clearly not happily married, so
Oh, yeah. They were
Win for
terrible. They
love
died so
parties.
easy. It
Right.
was one stab, and Varg knows that good people die in, like, 3 stabs.
all right. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Let's take her downstairs and go find Kett and
Hot rolls.
Cornelia.
Varg
And
wants
get
hot
some food. I'm
rolls.
very hungry
Padre.
too. Yes, let's go get some
Good
food.
people die in 3 stabs. That's the quote from tonight. That's it. There's
right.
been a couple of really good ones from Varg, but good people die in 3 stabs.
All right. So back down at
That's
the.
wisdom.
That's the coffee mug.
So back down in the tavern. Meanwhile, while all of this is happening, yes, the woman behind the bar, she looks over towards the stairs that lead down, and when you look over there, you can see that there's actually a light. So like a door had opened up, like it's a dark staircase, and then like there's whatever's down there, like a room or whatever, the door down there opened, so you can see some light coming in through the stairs or up the stairs. And she points and she says, "Orchid, you better go."
Okay. So Cornelia's gonna finish the ale, and then was there a stool there, or was she just standing?
There's a stool, yeah.
Okay, so she slides off the stool and like kind of drops for a second unsteadily, and then kind of picks herself back up.
Hey, just take it easy. Take it
We
easy.
gotta go. Cat.
Drink the water.
Cat.
Drink the water.
And you wouldn't let me drink the
Sweet
water
water.
before.
But drink the sweet
all
water now.
bossy about it.
No, if
She's
you drink
gonna
the sweet
drink
water
the
now, you'll feel
water.
better. You should also eat a little bit of that muffin. It'll help soak up some of the dark.
I don't want to eat the muffin. It
You should have a
smells
bite of the
weird.
muffin. It'll help soak up the dark. It'll make you feel better. Trust me.
Okay. I feel like I
already drank a whole loaf of bread, though. So I'm gonna drink the water, and then I'm gonna shove the muffin in my mouth, and then I'm gonna grab Kett's cloak and I'm gonna tug him towards the stairs.
Okay.
What's down the stairs?
Information is down there, Cat. There's the Cenobus, maybe, but just more information about. She gets distracted for a second at the manlets. Orchids,
Okay.
That's
Okay. Oh, okay.
right. Because drugs. Maybe my dad was into drugs.
I don't think your dad was into drugs. And
I
then
don't know, but I gotta find out.
hold on, just a second. Kett turns to the bartender and if they come down from upstairs, we went down the stairs. And he
We were
slams
gone for a long time.
slams the rest of his dark and puts the mug down and throws a coin on the counter.
All right. When you put the mug down, the bartender reaches over and she grabs the mug before you let it go, and her hand kind of lingers on your hand, and she looks at you and she says, "Come see me after."
Well, that's a little sexy.
Kett, his head turns sideways for a second, and then he grins and nods, and then follows Cornelia.
Okay.
A lot of
All
salacious
right.
stuff here.
Oh well.
Better
All
check
right.
those horses in.
As Cornelia gets to the stairs, she's going to do a Morgan Conroy patented drunk move in which every step she goes down, she has to count.
Okay.
Just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it burps a little. But she finally gets to the end and then does a little ta-da.
Just slower, just a little slower. We're in no hurry. We're not in a
I
hurry.
love how you Kett's totally fine having drunk 2 of these and Cordelia's just blasted.
Kett also had the 2 meat muffins, so he's had, he ate and drank.
Yes, that's maybe fair. But Cornelia has the alcohol tolerance of a goldfish, and I'm not talking about the actual fish, I'm talking about the cracker. So
All right. So as you walk in, let's see here.
there's a new map. Oh God, this is such a trap for Cornelia. Every place looks like a wonderful place to fall asleep.
Exactly. So Cornelia and Kett walk in. Oops, there you go. And you see, there's cushions and looks like day beds and ottomans and things like that, just all over the place in this room. And there's you can see that there's shelves with looks like books and other scrolls and things like that. And then each one of these little tables looks like it has some sort of an incense burner on it. And as you're walking in, it's this purple haze of smoke just kind of lingers almost like head level all throughout this entire room. And you can see people just lounging around in various states of undress, various states of coherency and things like that. And at the far end up there at the top, you see this gentleman.
Oh, hello, my good dude.
And as you walk in, you see him, and he's the only one that seems to even care that you're in the room. Everybody else is just kind of in this like half-lidded look to them,
like a stupor.
like stupor, yeah. And Kett, being a man of a well-traveled man and have gone to many a den of iniquity, you know that you have just wandered into a lotus den, and that the very air you're breathing can cause states of euphoria, hallucinations, things like that.
Kett pulls a rag out of one of his kind of pockets, like pouches, and he just kind of holds it up to Cornelia's mouth. Breathe through this. Breathe through this. And he does the same. He
Yeah.
holds up a rag to his mouth and
Cool. She's gonna cough a little at first and then burp horribly and then just be like, But yeah, she's gonna keep that up to her mouth.
the cloth smells like sandalwood and cinnamon.
Oh, it smells so pleasant. so nice. Just a question: is this portrait from the Conan game?
No, it's actually a an old painting from I think like 1840. I'll have to look and see. It's like what's not from the Conan game. I use public domain.
I was gonna say it's a beautiful portrait. Like it's gorgeous. Okay, so Cornelia is going to kind of unsteadily make her way over to the important looking man.
Okay, and he just watches you, and he seems like he's got kind of a bemused look on his face as you're walking, covering your mouth and whatnot. Go ahead and position yourself wherever you want.
Oh, right. There's a map that I can do that with. Okay, hold on. So he's over here. Cornelia's gonna make her way around here and almost tripped and catch herself super coordinated until she's like here-ish.
Okay. Kett, what are you doing?
Kett's taking up a position just behind Cornelia.
Okay.
He keeps like one hand at his side, but his other hand is resting on the pommel of his mace.
Okay. All right. And he's just he just watches you as you approach, and you like almost like there's people laying on these cushions and whatnot. There's people laying on the floor, and so yeah, you like almost step on somebody's hand as you're making your way over there, and then
Think so play. Oh, excuse me. Oh, pardon me. Oh, I'm so sorry.
And Kett just kind of pushes people's arms and legs out of the way with his feet as he's walking through, like,
Move.
okay. All right. And as you get to him, he nods to you and he says, you obviously knew the password to come down here. So, and then but his eyes squint a little bit and he looks at Kett and he looks back at you and he says, you're not the usual fare that come down here.
Yeah, no. Hi, I'm Cornelia. And this is Kett. And, I have a note from my father that says this place and, the password to get down here. And, I was just wondering if you knew him. Oh my gosh, what's your name? I'm so sorry, that was so rude.
All right. He smiles and says, my name is Arak.
Arak. Hi, Arak. I'm Cornelia. And this is Kett.
you said that already, Cornelia.
Oh. Okay, well, just in case you forgot. My dad's name was Mateo.
All right. You see that there is no hiding it. His eyebrows go up and his mouth opens like, oh.
So it looks like you may have met him or knew him. Do you know why he knows of this? Do you know why he would be here?
All
Not
right.
that into drugs.
He smiles and he pats the cushion next to where he's sitting, and he looks over at Kett and he kind of motions towards a small stool right next to the ottoman that he's laying on, and he says, "Have a seat, my child."
Okay.
Kett remains standing in the same position.
Oh, Cornelia goes straight for the comfy pose, man. Standing is hard.
He looks at you for a moment and nods, and he says, "You have your father's eyes."
And his nose.
Yes, that too. I am sorry to have heard of what happened to your parents. That
Yeah.
was a long time ago, but I remember them fondly. Yes, we had. He kind of searches like he's searching for the word. We had many dealings in the past.
Dealings. What kind of dealings?
He paid me on occasion. I have connections that are able to procure things.
Oh, okay. Like procuring like artifacts or scrolls. You've got some scrolls and some books I saw. Or like drugs.
All right, he smiles. And he says, and he looks back at Kett. And he says, "Forgive me, child. I don't mean to be rude. But do you have any proof of who you say you are?"
Oh, besides the nose?
"Yes, please."
Well, my dad's name is Mateo, and my mom's name is Naima, or my mom's name was Naima, and their last trip was to an area of the desert that I forgot right now, but they were looking for stuff, and I don't know if you'd recognize it, but my dad sent me this, and she'll pull out the necklace with the wolf with the coin on it.
Okay. He looks right at it, and his eyes get big as saucers. And he says,
Do you know what this is?
he smiles, and he says, I just might. And then he stands up on this ottoman and turns around, and you see like there's shelves behind him, and he like turns around and stands up, and when he does so, he's wearing it's like a robe, like a smock robe, and like his knees pop when he stands up, like he hadn't moved from this spot in probably a while. And you're getting a full on whiff of the fact that he hasn't moved in a little while. So right up in your face as he's like turns his back on you, and he's like reaching up onto this shelf, and he's like scrawny little legs as he's like tiptoeing, like trying to reach up to this top shelf. And when he does, he just kind of grabs something, like a small box, and then he just kind of turns and just flops down, and he holds out the box, and he says, "Your father, he paid for a thief to steal the contents of a display case from a noble's house in Corinthia.
Corinthia.
He was very keen on a golden urn," and he opens up the box and he pulls this golden urn out.
Golden, hold on. Golden urn, noble's house. Oh, I spelled nobles wrong. That's not good. Noble's house. Okay.
And then he said, he's looking at it. It's got a ruby on the top, like a big one.
Wow.
And it looks like it's completely sealed. And he like holds it up and he says, "He paid for it to be recovered and never returned. So I suppose this belongs to you."
Well, thank you so much for keeping it and not like reselling it.
All right, he says, I have my standards, even though it's been, how many? He goes, "What day is it?"
It's been, I was 13. It's been 4 years.
4 years. And he just kind of, he like smooths his hair, like, "Oh shit, 4 years." And then he kind of looks at his smock, and he kind of looks around at all the reprobates that are laying around, and he's like, 4 years, really?
Yeah, since they died.
Oh my.
She's gonna gingerly take the urn. Is it heavy?
It is, and as you're looking at it, it has, like I said, it has this ruby, but it's offset. Make an observation check. I'm going to make it easy for you. So we're going to say DC 1, because you have seen pictures, like drawings of this urn in the past.
I have.
Yeah.
Okay. Observation.
Okay. And now make a lore check.
Yay.
All right. You just generated a momentum on that one. So go ahead and add your momentum.
Hooray! So I double click the momentum thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So as you're looking at the urn, you're looking at it. You're like, I know I've seen this urn before. And what stands out is the ruby. And then there was in one of your mother's journals, there was this, you remember this drawing of this urn. And then you remember there was a crude drawing of, it was just like a circle with what looked like a stylized, like drawing in the middle of it, and it said the key. It just said the key. And as you're looking at it, and then you look at the necklace, and then you look at it, you realize that one of the holes in the coin that you have around your neck is about the same size as that ruby.
That's very fascinating. Well, that's really cool and very exciting. Thank you, Arak, so much
He
for
smiles.
keeping this.
Of course.
She's gonna tuck the urn away. There's one other thing that I was hoping you could help me with. There was someone who I've heard hangs around here sometimes. A Stygian man named Zenobus.
All right, you see his face darken a bit, and he looks at you and he says, I know him.
Yeah. No one seems to really say that with like happiness, I've noticed. But I would like to talk to him.
He shakes his head. He says, he is no longer here.
Okay.
And then he points at the urn, and he says, he was specifically asking for that.
Oh, he wants this.
And then he looks at you, and we're out of time, so he leans forward and he says, but if he's a Stygian, I'll eat my hat.
Everything I know about this man is a lie. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so that's where we'll leave it for this session. Let's go ahead and go around the horn and introduce yourselves again and how people can find you. We will start with Varg.
Excellent. My name has been Bianca Zelda. You can find me on Twitter as @BiancaZelda or on Instagram. If you're interested in audio things, I'm a part of 2 podcasts. One is the Broadswords All Women Non-Binary D&D podcast. Our season 2 is coming to an end. Or if you like creepier, spookier, darker things, I'm also part of a noir fate core podcast called Facades of Gods. Or tomorrow, I'll be streaming a game of Dinosaur Princesses on the Broadswords Twitch. It's a really cute game. I'm just going to be a player, so I get to be a dinosaur princess.
That's wonderful.
I'm hyped.
That's awesome.
And next we have Adama.
Hi, everybody. This is Leslie. You can find me on Twitter at LeslieGMGirl. This is the only game I'm playing in right now, so ta-da, you can find me here.
And then Cornelia.
Hi, my name is Morgan. You can find me on Twitter at Thistle Raven. You can also find me normally on the Taking Initiative podcast, which is a 5e module-based actual play podcast. The first episode that I ever edited by my lonesome is coming out on Friday. Yeah, I'm really excited. And
cool.
you can find me this Friday on the Venture Maiden stream
yeah.
with B.
Yes, thank you.
where we are having a wonderful time romping through the Dragon Age Inquisition.
We've got an intense episode coming up. For some reason this Friday, tune in. I don't know why it's going to be intense. I just know something about it is intense.
Is something about it is intense, where I play the wonderful Australian Emily. So you can find me there, and yeah, say hi on Twitter.
And then we have Kett.
Yes, Michael, you can find me at LoserMLW on any of the social medias, mostly Twitter and Instagram. If you like pictures of food on the weekends, that's what I've been doing with my pandemic life.
Yes, you have.
I've been doing a lot of that on the weekends. And I am also in a podcast called Redemption. It is a Star Wars actual play. We play the Final or Fantasy Flight games, Edge of the Empire system.
Finally, yeah.
I always say Final Fantasy games. I can't help it. It's just ingrained in me for some reason. I don't know why. On that podcast, and then I do a number of things, streams and such. I'll be back Thursday on Gamers Table here this week for the East Texas University game, which is basically college supernatural. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, you can find me around.
All right. And I'm Eric at Bod Saloon. You can find me at Gamers Table, gamerstable.com. We, like Michael said, we've got the stream coming up on Thursday of East Texas U. We do this. I also am the GM for Resting Glitch Face, which is doing season finale coming up this week. So that'll be dropping also. So, all right. And then we do this every 2 weeks. So we will be here at 8 p.m. Central Time in 2 weeks. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.